Good afternoon, folks. It's time for another stream, would you believe? Let me get things set up here till I get everything going. Right, so today what we did was we have added ball bearings. What we did was we went in Blender, created the ball, then we went into Substance Painter and created our texture for said metal ball. And the next thing we did was we looked at a separate set of stuff, which was basically this. Let me have a look. This box here, we placed it into the world, we filled it with our balls, and basically we then turned that into a static mesh. So yes, shiny balls. So, good afternoon, interesting. Nice to see you here. So basically, we've turned that into a static mesh on its own, and we can now use this as an instance in our products. So, first thing we need to do is go into blueprints and go into recipes, go into e-items, and we can create a new item here. And I'm not too sure if that did that there. Apparently it didn't. It doesn't want to play ball apparently. Right, so yeah, it kind of lost its way. I think it was in the middle of saving or something. So we can call that ball bearing. And for all those interested, they've kicked off Manchester United against Liverpool. So we're going to probably get distracted by that. So we're now going to DT items, and we add an item to our data table. And we say ball bearing. And we basically select ball bearing, and it's going to be made in a smelter, I believe. Probably not actually, but yeah, we'll make it a fabricator, what the heck. So we don't really have an image as such here. We can create that later, so we shall make this something. Let's see if we've got... Nah, we've not really got something. We'll try ball. We'll say bubble. That'll do. And for our mesh, we can do ball bearing. Static mesh. Crafted by hand, no. Is tradable, yes. Value, let's say 2. Leave the research. Handcrafted, no. It's not placeable. We may need to do these stock values. Let's see what we've got on the other. Apparently not. Right. So we shall check over here. And let's say aluminium, and it's all set to nothing. Okay, so that's okay. And so the next thing we need to do is DT recipe. Okay, so what we can do is add and we add in ball bearing, and the product out is the ball bearing. Product out image is bubble again. Seems like a reasonable assessment. Let's say process time is 5 seconds. Input requires iron sheet. Input required, let's say 5. Output is 1. We output the ball bearing, and output just 1. And it is made in a fabricator. We save that, and in theory we should be able to make this. We may need to rescale it slightly, but hey ho, we'll work on that. So let's try that out, shall we? Hey Passer, how you doing, mate? Nice to see you back. Right, so we're going to press play, and this is for Passer because I didn't see him last night, I think. Did you see, Passer, did you see the new menus or the new information pages? So we'll create a new game, and we'll call it Ball Bearing, because that's what we're testing. Okay, that. And so the first thing we shall do is we shall get a mine going, then we shall get a refinery going, then we shall get a smelter going, I'll show you in a minute then. Once I get this built, I shall show you it. Oh yeah, we have these probes as well that probe stuff. Yeah, wait a minute, I'll show you the probes again, right? Because the probes are cool. I've got to say the probes are cool. Right, they're going to come over here. Right, watch them take off. They'll fly over here. Then they'll drop down, spin and turn, and then start scanning. Pretty cool, huh? Then they lift up again, turn around, and shoot back home. And land. And then switch off. So that's what we kind of worked on at the weekend, right? Now, if you look here now, we've got the miner here, we've got a nice blur, everything's working cool. We close that, we can go over and have a look at the refinery. It's got the refiner, got its thing. We can look at the warehouse, it's got its own warehouse. So I've basically been bringing everything standardized. So you can see there, smelter, blah blah blah. If we hit the inventory and crafting, it's got there, it's looking nice. And the trading, also resupply ship. I'm going to probably remove this, but yeah. So yeah, it's all working. So what we can do is spin these around, we'll get our actual production working, hopefully. So we shall set this to iron sheet, and we can do our bubbles now. we go. Pretty cool. All we need to do now is join these up. So we shall join them up. Cool. And that's that done. Then the last one we need to do here is we need to join this up to the warehouse. And there we go. And finally, what we're going to do is we're going to save this. Then I need to move these a little bit because they're a bit touchy on whether they actually activate or not. And there we go. Out come our barrels of bauxite. And what we'll do now is we'll add some workers in. And this is all good. Yeah, it's coming along Passer, isn't it? Manchester United just hit the post. Elanga had a great chance and missed. So here comes our iron sheets that look like copper sheets because of the reflections. I need to do something. I'm going to do something about this pretty soon, the terrain. And I'm not too sure what this is going to end up looking like, but we shall soon find out. And it's tiny. It's teensy weensy, whatever it is. It's teensy weensy. Right, so we'll stop that for now. We'll save it first. Manchester United, no, they didn't score. I think it was just a replay of Ten Hag reaction when he hit the post. They thought it was in. Anyway, let's not get thingy down on that. If we go back to here and props, we really need to bring this in bigger. We need it scaled up a bit. Interesting. It's a mix between Factorio, Satisfactory, Surviving Mars with a hint of RimWorld, right? So basically there's products getting made in each of the different factory types. So what it was doing was it was mining bauxite, right? Then that was getting transported into a refiner and getting turned into iron ore. That was getting transported to a smelter, which was making it into iron sheets. Then that was getting transported into a fabricator, which was turning it into ball bearings. Then the ball bearings were heading towards the warehouse for storage. That's what was happening. Hopefully that makes sense. We don't want any collision on that, but we're not going to worry about it yet. What we're interested in is its actual size, which I don't think we can actually change here. I'm just wondering if there's... You see, normally when you load up... We've got import settings. Yeah, but it's just a file path. Yeah, this is no good. This is no good. Right. It looks to me like we're going to have to make this into the world. We're going to have to size it in the world before we actually save the mesh, right? Because I don't know if there's a way to... There isn't a way... It would make things a lot more complicated if I have to create the instance mesh and then basically scale everything, right? So it kind of just makes more sense to get into the map, right? Then load up the first map. We'll save all that. Right, so what we actually need to do here is go to our buildings, in fact go to our spliner, and yeah, if you drag that in nothing happens because we need the conveyor. Right, so here's the conveyor, right? So what you can see here is if I bring in now the ball bearing, sorry, not the ball bearing there, we want props. If I bring in the ball bearings for here, that should have been big enough. Right? Let's say it was there, right? So basically we want a Man United or 1-0 up, by the way. It's Sancho, I think. Right, so what we want is something that looks kind of like that. About that size. Right? And that's going to look pretty good. So it's double the size. Right, but I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to actually recreate it. Right, so basically what we do is drag this, right, and we make it 2 by 2 by 2, and now we bring in our ball bearings. Now this becomes an instance mesh, so it's going to be really fast in the way that it actually renders. So if we bring in a ball bearing, right, now we could make these a different size, right? And just like 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, then we can move it into position. So we can move it to there, then drag it up a bit. Okay. And then if we duplicate that, right, and then we duplicate that, okay. That'll do, is nice, I think. Then we can duplicate them. Then we can double up and duplicate them. And then we can just select those ones. And do that. Right, so let's have a look at this. Right, that's looking good. So the next thing we can do is we can basically select all of them. And that one, and that one. Later, passer. Thanks for coming by. So we can duplicate that. Then basically what we want to do is have these ones on top. But kind of halfway in between, if you see what I mean. And then we can delete that one, that one, that one, and that one, and that one. Then we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we can duplicate them. Move them to there, then move them up a bit. And this is hard to get a look at, but we can do it like that. And these should be about there. And then what we can do is we can select that and that, duplicate that, move it to there, select that one and that one again, bring them up to there, right? And that should give us all of our ball bearings. So if we come down to here, right, and we find out the name, it might be that box bearing thing. Yeah, we're going to go with that. So we shall, it's not, damn it. So question is, it's this SM crack. So what we can do now is convert actors to static mesh. Right, it's not going to be in there, it's going to be in our storage house in meshes and props, and it's going to be called ball bearing 2 box 2. We okay that. Okay, so this should now be, it doesn't look it, but I'm hoping it's double the size. So that being the case, we go into DT items, we click on ball bearing, we zoom it up, and we call it ball bearing box 2. Save that. Man United have a dangerous free kick here. So we delete that. We delete that. And basically we want to delete all these ball bearings. Right, so we can do that, delete them, do that, do that, delete them, do that, delete them. Then we can delete our conveyor belt. We can do a save all. Hey Shirash, nice to see you back, mate. So we've got to go back to our main menu again. So open level, main menu, open. We'll minimize that. We'll press play, continue. Yeah, that's better. So there we go. Yeah, interesting. If you're still here, let me explain. Right, bauxite comes out the mine, travels along this conveyor belt, goes into the refiner. The refiner changes it to iron ore. Then it comes out here as iron ore. Then we need iron ore for this, and we're making iron sheets. The iron sheets come out, as you can see, little iron sheets. Then we go into a fabricator. fabricator needs iron sheets and turns it into a ball bearing, and the ball bearings come out in their bucket. Okay? But there's one little thing here that we're not happy about that we have to change. Now you'll notice that this uses this material, right? And it's not showing up. So we need it to check on here, and it uses a parent which is M-beams 1. So we go to that, open it up, and in here we need to change it to be used in static meshes, instance meshes, sorry. So we save that, and if we press play again and continue again, right? Then once this stuff gets rocking, we should be there. So here it comes, and you'll notice now we've got our nice thing. So the thing we want to do now, right, is in our map, right, we've got one light source, right, and we really want a couple. In fact, we really want to do so it's going to be about there. We'll make it slightly orangey. We'll okay that. We'll turn it down to about 1.5. Right, and that should give us a better, sort of better light. Don't know what this one's like. In fact, this one we should turn it a bit like that, and we have our other dynamic light, or sorry, our, see, that's kind of that color. So if we save that, then open level, main map, what I'll do is I'll look up a guide to sort of a flat natural looking light. Okay. So we'll carry on with this. And here we go. Those are still a bit too shiny, I would say. Yeah, I would definitely say so. What I'm going to do, right, what I'm going to do is we're going to open up Substance Painter. Right, and we're going to do, I'm going to do a far less shiny version. So we won't make it steel, we'll make it an iron, right? But we'll make it much less shiny. Right, that's if it opens today. Come on. You know you want to. Yeah, it was open. Right, so I don't think it's in you, to be honest. No. Right. So we select and we go ball bearing and we OK that. We go to texture settings, we bake the maps, we remove ID and we build the maps. We OK that. And we're going with the unshiniest, right? So we could go with, let's have a look at the smarts. So like we've got steel here, and that's, I think that's the one we're using, right? We could go with the armor, but that's just as shiny really. And that's like a dark. And these like rusty aren't really very good either. Let's have a look. What do you think of that, guys? I don't think that's going to work. I think that's a bit too bad. Alright, let's have a look at this. Nah, I think that's just, these are just too shiny. I suppose if you could, right, let's try something, right? Let's have a look. Now, roughness, details, base. Right, why is the parameters for this not showing? Where are the parameters? Right, so there's the parameters here. That's what I wanted. Right, so there's a metallic here, right? That's the shinier. That's the not so shiny. Right. I'll tell you what we'll do. What we'll do is we shall delete this one. Right. And we'll just go to normal materials. And I think we'll go with this like raw. Because it ain't going to be anywhere near, what's that one called? Raw damaged. Raw. I suppose we don't want raw damaged. Right, we want raw. Hammered. Grinded. Grainy. I suppose grainy might. Nah, that seems too shiny as well. Right, I think we'll just go for raw. Steel rough. Oh, that might work. Okay, we're going to go for that. So what we'll do is we'll export textures. We select where they're going, which is going to be imports, textures, ball bearing. Select that folder, we go to configuration, then we select Unreal Engine 4, back to export, and we can change these down a bit to 1K. I don't think it's going to make any difference, they're in a box, so okay that. Then we can close that. It's just a ball, so I'm not, and it's just one texture, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. Right, and then if we go into, where are we going to? We're going into the ball bearing. Which isn't in there. I'm pretty sure it's in here. Okay, so it's not in there. Where did I put this? Right, let's minimize this down. And let's have a look to see what we've got. So, okay, materials, meshes, models, here it's here, product meshes, right? So basically what we want to do is we want to reload. No, we don't. We want to re-import. 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 Okay. Then we can press play again. And we can see what we've got. It's It's coming up to half time in the Man United Liverpool game. It's still 1-0. Liverpool have a corner, 2.5 minutes to go. Okay, so we're waiting on our Ballbearings to come out. There we go. Now they're still ultra shiny. So what we could do here, right, is go into this material and we could basically remove this metallic, because that should kill the metallic shininess. The roughness as well is going to have a... So let's plug that back in. So we do want that, right? But let's see what that gives us. Yeah, that's given us a much better... We could add a constant to this. Scalar parameter. And then we could make it 0.1. And that's getting kind of shiny already. So we can make it... If we make it 1, let's see what it looks like. Okay, so the closer to 0 it is, so basically we want 0.9. Right, then we want 0.8, 0.5. Yeah, that'll do us. And now if we press play, and we check this out, this should be a lot less shiny, and it's going to basically look very flat, which is kind of what you want with the way the light is. Yeah. That's looking much more like a barley Ballbearings. So that's cool. We're definitely thinking that's cool. So on that point, it's time for a quick break. Check out the description for Patreon, my previous games and Discord. Hit the subscribe button and I shall be back in a moment or two. Okay guys, we're back. Ready to go. As a little update here, Manchester United are 1-0 ahead at half time. You can now see that our ball bearings are looking good. Right, let's see for a minute here if we actually change this to widgets. There's the widget. Ah, oh, that's cool. That's cool, guys. We like that. And we can change it back to our ball bearing. It will output the rest of the widgets and then it will change over. And there we go, we're back to creating our beautiful ball bearings. Now, here's the interesting thing is if we go to our warehouse, we can have a look. And do we have any widgets yet? Oh, here come the first widgets. And the widgets are a heck of a lot faster. So we have ball bearings 59 and widgets at the moment. We have 6, 8, 9, 11. So that, my friends, is all working absolutely perfectly. Now what we need to actually do here is do something with this so that it's kind of split up and there's more stuff, because obviously we're only using 5 columns here. So we shall do that. Our sun is still very, very bright. You can see that. So if we go to our warehouse, right, we can go to our UI, and we can open our game. Then if we go to the warehouse, minimize this, we open our warehouse, then that's on clicked, and here is where we set maximum. So we could set that to 9. Okay. We can take a look at this later, how it does it, and we can split like the different products up. So we can save that, and what we'll do is we shall run this again and we'll try to collect a lot of stuff, right? So it's going well. and we are making stuff, right? So we can go to our warehouse, and there we've got our 5 different things. Okay, so that's us making ball bearings. So the next thing we could do is make some widgets. And then we can swap it back over to ball bearings. Okay. We can check on this. We've got 6 ball bearings. We should have some widgets coming down here, down the plank soon. Right, so that's cool. So now we've got ball bearings. Let's have a look at that to see when widgets come in. Right, so now our widgets have come up. That's cool. And I believe we can actually do research as well. Right. And that's going to give us another different type of product. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this will be number 8. Okay. This will be, right, where is it? Yep, here come the test tubey things, our research canisters. Or research tubes, shall we say. Take a look. And here comes the first one. And there it is. So that is working absolutely stunningly well. We can close that. I was going to say let's do some copper, but we can't because I've got it set at the moment to just be bauxite, so that I can definitely get bauxite out. So I think actually our next thing will be to add another product, and I think it's going to be copper pipe. I think that would be a good idea. Except what I might actually do is make a metal works. So we have the smelter, right, which is going to make our raw sheets, but then we'll pass the sheets into a metal works, and then from the metal works what we'll do is we shall allow it to be able to make like copper pipes or iron pipes, or that'll make the steel. And then that'll be pretty cool. But yeah, this is working well. I mean, these are passing through the spline, but hey, I'm not going to argue too much. We could make this a bit bigger, scale it a bit to like 1.2 or something for the spline, which will make the conveyor belt a tiny bit bigger. But this was never meant to be the end point anyway. So I'm not going to worry too much about that, but yeah, everything's working really well. Now what I do want to do is stat FPS. And I think that's acceptable because we've got a lot of stuff running in the background. We've got Steam running, Skype running, there's a football match running. Liverpool and Man United have just kicked off, by the way. I've obviously got OBS or Streamlabs working, so this is obviously going to be acceptable, and there's a lot on the screen with all these meshes, right? But these are instance meshes, so these are actually optimized. So I would say everything's running pretty well. Right. So the next plan would actually be to create what we were talking about, which is a metalworks. Okay? And that would mean that we probably want to go to the refiner. So if we go to buildings, which isn't there, it's over here. If we go to our, in fact, if we do it from our smelter, we can basically duplicate this and we can call it Metal Works. Okay. And what we need here is another building type. So we've got miner, refiner, smelter, fabricator, research, warehouse, and we want to add a metalworks. Right? Works, not works. Metalworks. Save that. And then when we start this, this is going to be Where is it? Building type. Okay, so that's in we want to set building type. There it is, metalworks. So why did that not come in? I'm guessing, yeah, probably. If I do that, then there we go. Okay. So it's going to have the same operations as the smelter, right? So basically what I'm trying to do now is make it so that there's going to be different levels of fabrication, right? So at the moment we have from the miner to the refiner, from the refiner to the smelter, and from the smelter to the fabricator, right? Now, to make certain items, we may have to go from the smelter to the metalworks, right? For like the ball bearings, let's say. And let's say we make another product called copper pipes, that would be made in a metalworks, right? But there will be certain items that don't need that step, so you're making it basically from the iron, directly from the iron sheets in the fabricator. Okay? So that's the idea behind this. We can delete that. And what we'll do here is we're going to change this out a bit. Platform's going to stay the same. Right, we're going to have to do some background work on this, because we're going to need a mesh, we're going to need an image, etc, etc, right? But some of these things we can do off stream, but in the meantime what we can actually do is go back to our product, which is going to be in recipe, right? And for example, if we go to DT items, right, this is going to be categorized as metalworks. So we can save that, then we can go to DT recipes, and then this one, it's going to be made in a metalworks, right? So, and what we can do from there is, if we have a look at our research tree, right, so if we press play, and then we go to continue. Now this might screw things up again because we can't Man United are 2-0 up. Rashford. First goal Sancho, second goal Rashford. Typical Rashford goal. It's just pure pace. Decent finish. That was it. Right? So, if we look at our research tree, right, you can see that we've got mining, refining, smelting, fabricator. Now, we can basically now add another. And we're going to have to take a 5-minute break because someone is coming to purchase something. So I shall be back in a moment or two. Okay guys, we're back, and yeah, so we could add another section to this for the metalworks and take it from there. As you can see, I think what we're going to do is we're going to add in rotation on the right hand mouse button by default on the controller. But as you can see, all our stuff is going along here rather beautifully. And yeah, so it's a matter of just adding more stuff, I believe. Adding more stuff to the mix. So what we need to do here is stop it, and we're going to have to add, what I'm going to do is close that down to tidy it all up. And then in our structs and data, we're going to have this, which is D2 menu buildings, and we're going to have to add a new row, and it's going to be metal works. And it's going to be the metalworks, and it's BP metalworks. We haven't got an image, so we're going to have to go with metal texture, I suppose, just to give us an idea. And static mesh, we are going to have to go with fabricator, let's say, for the moment. Starting workers is 1, and let's say the maximum is 20. And we're going to have a cost, and the cost is iron sheet, and it's going to cost, let's say, 50, and the player can build it, so that'll allow it in the crafting page. Okay, so we save that, and now when we press play and let's say continue, we are going to have, this is our building here. Okay, so I think what we'll do is we shall change these to give us a bit more indication of what you're going to build, right? So we're going to stop that, and then we're going to go into the, I believe, the building menu, and it's the building button here, right? Now if we mouse over this, we want a, so we do want a tooltip here. Do we have a tooltip? Yeah, we have a tooltip text. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll go to our graph, and do we have the actual, we have the building name, right? But I don't know if this is going to be actually referenced at all. No, it isn't. But here's the question. We've got the building cost. We've got, well, the tooltip. Have we got a reference to this? Nah, there's nothing there. Right, so we've got class to spawn, but we haven't got a building name. Right, so probably what we need to do here is go into our select box. Right. And we are doing a building name here. So the building name isn't getting set. Right. But what we could do is put this in here. So if we save that, right, and then we go back into our individual building button, and then on event construct, we can get this, and we can set this, get tooltip, set text. Right, and that's going to go straight into there. And we can basically do that to tidy it up a bit. We can save that. So that should now give us a tooltip text on each building, right? So if we try to build a building, alright, so it's not giving us a tooltip text. Okay. So let's do this. We'll add a breakpoint, right? We'll remove that. We'll build it again. We have a building, which is the refiner. Resume. Right, it's going to have done that for every single one. But, right, do that. And basically I think, wait a minute, what's going on here? It's apparently given us an error. Right, I don't know why. We'll continue there. We'll add that. So we have the refiner. Resume, resume. Smelter. Resume, resume. Fabricator. Resume, resume. Research station. Resume, resume. We've got building name coming from nowhere. So, yeah. What we need to do is we need to go back to here and check where this is coming from. And it's coming from DT menu building. And we've got none for the building name, so that will be Metalworks. And there we go. So we'll dismiss that, dismiss that. Might not have been showing the tooltip because there was an error, not sure, not 100% confident in that fact. Resume, 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 resume. And now we should see research station, resume, resume, and we should see Metalworks. There we go. Resume and resume. Now we aren't getting our tooltip, but that's okay for the moment. I think I know what that is. It still gives an error there. I don't know why. Let's have a look at DT buildings again. That's okay, that's okay. Those are all set. Not understanding that. Not understanding that at all. But if we go to our building, now is this set up properly? So it should be non-hit testable, and this should be set the same. And resume, 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 resume. And this should be our Metalworks, which is fine. Right, and that's all good. And I was kind of expecting to see the tooltip. Access none. Trying to read the tooltip. Okay. Right, I think I know what the issue is here. Right, we'll go to here. Now there's a set text, but that really shouldn't be the set text. Right? What we should do is we should delete that. Tool, we should get the tooltip, set the tooltip text. Right? This goes in here. This goes in here, and this goes in here. Right? And then if we go back to the individual buildings, we can take this out. Okay. So we can save that and try this again. Right. We shall remove this. Resume. And there we go, we're getting our tooltip text now. Now, the question is, can we make that bigger? We're not getting it. Oh, we are. We'll worry about that later. Right, so if we go back to our individuals, which is the one we're on, right? Can we make this any bigger? We could turn it into a widget. Right? Now, I'm just wondering here. Alright, so in here we have our appearance, then we should have the behavior and the tooltip text. Damn it. Image. So where is our tooltip text? So it would appear for our button we don't have. Let's have a look at this. This is just a button, there's no text inside. So if we were to do the image up here, it's still, what's this, tooltip widget. Right, I don't know what, well, okay. So the button has a tooltip widget that you can actually set. Right? But that's not what we want to do. For say, we have tooltip widget. So that's under behavior. Right, so what we could do is we could say tooltip, so we can get tooltip, and we're not going to set the text, but can we set the widget? So we say set user focus, opacity, navigation, set cursor. Apparently not. It looks like Liverpool have scored. So we can set the tooltip. Right, I'm just wondering here if we delete this, right? This is just me playing about at the moment, by the way. What we can do is we can say tooltip widget. What? Right, we'll call it ref tooltip widget. Right? And that's going to be W it's not going to be anything apparently. Building tooltip. I've got absolutely no idea what this is. Apparently it's just got a text block with the name in it. TXT tool. And when we come in here, we set the text. Okay, so in the individual build button, we basically say create widget, and it's building tooltip, and that goes into there. That goes into there. And that goes into there. And then what we do is let's have a look at the building tooltip. So we basically expose on spawn that we come to here, we delete this, and we set the building name here. Okay. So we can try this out and see how it goes. There's not a lot of time left in that match. Stop that. So that's not working. Tooltip widget. Alright, so it's not, we don't want to bind it. Right, so why is that not available? The default. And this is just text. So we can't really do that. Right, so we're going to have to do a quick Google search on this. Just give me 1 second, guys. Tooltip widget, grayed out. Right, okay, well. Right, So we have our answer. What we have to do is cut that, go back to our designer, go back to our button image, then we have to create a binding. And we shall rename it to get tooltip underscore widget. And then we paste that in there. Okay, we connect these up. We save that. And let's see if that is the answer. Apparently not. Yeah, well, we do need to put that in, I suppose. And yeah, it is better, but it's kinda... Okay. It's not exactly huge. So, if we go back to here, and the text block, and yeah, we go for Simplifica, crap, and we go 24, that should basically double the size. Okay. So we can stop that. And we shall move it a bit. We're going to size that to content. And I think what we'll do is we'll do it with position. So we'll go minus 0.5. And 1. Okay. And then we shall up this to 32. We shall save that. We're into the 5th minute of added time in the football, and it's still 2-1 to Manchester United. There we go. So we could move it in a bit. Stop that. And we could go and move this to 0.25 and save that. And now we could do this in a right, so we stop that and in here we shall do a bit of mucking around with this. Okay, but in the meantime I think we'll expand on this. I think what we'll do is we'll do a cost next to it, right? I mean, that's working perfectly for the moment, but really what you want is it to tell you how much they cost. Okay, so that's going to be a job for tonight. So we've got our ball bearings in, we're doing a nice mouse over, and that's all great. So if you've enjoyed the stream, check out the description, hit the subscribe button. In the description you'll find my Discord, Patreon and my previous game on Steam. So if you want to support the channel, if not, that's fine. Just watch for the fun of it, and we shall be back this evening at 8 PM Central Time. So goodbye for now.